Welcome, everybody, to the New Year's special for Transcendent Truth Media. This is Pastor Connor. Joined with me is Pastor Roland. We are joined together to defeat Satan, crush his evil forces and his worms and minions and demonic little elves. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and loved hearing about how our Lord Jesus, God, became flesh, took your sin on himself and, died for you. I hope you heard that if you didn't depose your pastors. And what else could I say? Yeah, Happy New Year. Here we are. So we decided we're going to jump on. We're going to tell you all about the fact that we are still alive, that the Matrix has not come and snatched us like it snatched Andrew Tate, as he said. And also we denounce all sex criminals like he might be. And also, I mean, what else is there to say? This is a new year. It's a new year full of things that will be happening. Um, Podcasting and book writing and book publishing and all these different things, and maybe a Spanish Inquisition or two. So Pastor Roland, how was your Christmas and how was your New Year's? And lots of new things are going on at your church. What's going on?
Yes. No, it was great. Of course, we had a new associate pastor start at my church here at Victory Lutheran in Medicine Hat, Pastor Grant Crichton. He started in late November, and he has been a wonderful addition to the team. He's been great, brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of mission fervor into the congregation. And so that's been really wonderful. Great development. I'm also in the process of starting to do the research for my a Master of Sacred Theology thesis. So I'm very excited to be working with my advisor on that. More of that, I'm sure, will come out as the year progresses, and I'll definitely be wanting to share that because it's. But I'll give you a hint. It's about Lutheran ecclesiology, so it's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be fun. Yeah, so I mean that was good. Christmas was wonderful. Nice full services, can't complain. Would love to see more of those people more regularly. But we'll take what we can get. The gospel was proclaimed and ears heard, and hopefully some believed according to the mercy and goodness of Christ. But yeah, no, I mean, those are the big updates that I would say for myself. But I'm really excited for another year here and another year working with Transcendent Truth Media. I think the future only holds more great things as we continue to produce more content, up the level of that content, and continue to just make Lutheranism accessible in a way that it hasn't been historically, whether due to region issues, language issues, or the dreaded paywalls that we find in so many Lutheran contexts.
Yeah. The paywalls are a very big problem, as have been credentialism, elitism, and tribalism. And these are things that we have spoken against, especially last New Year's, as we were talking about our vision and our mission for the coming year. And a lot of those were things that we did, though we did not accomplish everything to the extent we would have liked. But this year, this is a new year, and we've got some of those things continuing to roll down the line. We've got our new publishing arm. It's ready to take form. It's in the birthing chamber. It's happening. Roland, can you talk at any length about what's going on there?
Yes, our TTM's publishing company, or for whatever we want to call it, publishing arm,
Our
new
publishing sweatshop.
sweatshop, yeah, um, is New Wittenberg Press, and we are looking forward to that launching sometime this year. We've got a couple of things in the works, and right now they're just going through some final editing, some proofreading, and of course, just preparing for online. Now, the goal with New Wittenberg Press, in keeping with the overall mission and vision of Transcendent Truth Media, is that ebook versions will be and PDF versions will be free, of course, and print versions will be at cost. So we will not be making a profit on anything. That is, we want these resources to be free. So we hope to release these things to you and some very exciting stuff to you, to make them free, to make them accessible. This is what we want to do. But we don't want to sacrifice on quality. Just because it's free doesn't mean we're going to produce crap. It doesn't mean this stuff's going to be garbage. We're looking at producing high quality stuff for absolutely no cost to you. And this is the goal. So what we're hoping to do is, of course, we're hoping to work on prayer books. We're hoping to work on devotional material. We're hoping to work on commentaries. We're hoping to work on different monographs of different sorts, philosophical, historical, theology, all these sorts of different topics. We're looking for people to publish with us as well, so long as they agree with our mission that this is not for money. I have often run into professors and PhDs where they say, I think it's horrible that my work is inaccessible because outrageous publishing costs, right? Like, I mean, I was talking to one professor and he wrote a book about Genesis and it's like $80. And he only makes like maybe $3 to $5 per sale of that book, and the rest is taken by the
Hmm.
extreme greedy and usurious publishing companies.
And
So
usury is sin, by the way.
yes, it absolutely is. And so I really want to, like, I think we're all committed to seeing a change in this disruption. But so often, there's a lot of free content online. There's a lot of people that self-publish, but it's garbage. To be blunt, it's garbage material. So that's the key here. We want quality confessional Lutheran material at no cost. That's the goal.
Yeah, basically what we are asking people to do, and really, in the truth of it, we're not so much asking people to do it as we are first leading the charge and doing it ourselves. And this is, as Roland was saying, we're hoping to do lots of these things. But as he says, we're hoping to do lots of these things. They're already being done. They're already in the works. Um, and have been in the works. Some of these books have been in the works for several years, and this is why they're on the cusp of being ready now. But the thing is that there are precious few individuals who are willing to do that much work, to put that much into it, and to essentially sacrifice themselves to the proclamation of the gospel. But the reality is, if you are a pastor, that is the call that you heeded and accepted and took vows upon. So, and the other thing with this is, as just as you were mentioning, Roland, it's never made sense to me to charge for theology books because the author gets almost nothing out of it in the first place. There is no purpose to have this other than that it creates imagined jobs. And like this system, and last year and before last year, sitting and plotting our evil takedown of the system, and our rise to power, to become the new popes of the universe, is we just looking at how all interconnected so much of the system is, so inundated with capitalism, so inundated with the ways of the world, and this idea that has nothing to do with the freedom and the free proclamation of the gospel that seeks the dead sinners who are it's like, for example, if I said to you, I'm going to preach the gospel to anyone who wants it, but first they have to come to me, they have to be already looking for me, then give me $80. That is not how the gospel works. The gospel seeks people who are not searching for it, and it proclaims it to them for free. Even, dare I say, it proclaims it to them at the cost of the self, because that is what you see in the New Testament. And that is how we should be doing everything in the church. That's how we should be doing seminary training. That's how we should be doing book writing. That's how we should be doing podcasting, pastoring. That's how we should do everything. That the pastoral salary is not meant to be payment for employment. It's not meant to be that way. It's meant to be a gift given, right? A gift given and a gift due. And people have so lost this understanding as capitalism just took over the mind. And this is why we have so many different warnings in the scripture about against power and against money. Right. And this is when we look at the system, it's all about power and money and prestige. And it's not just a book system. It's not just a podcasting system. It's not just a media network system. It's the system. It's all interconnected. It's all the same thing. It's that behind what is running the church has so much less to do with the free proclamation of the gospel for the sake of sinners receiving the forgiveness of sins and the freedom that comes through the gospel of Christ. It has so much more to do with power, prestige, how people look at us and accept us. And frankly, I've never really cared much, but I just care less now than I did. So I care in negatives now, and I'm very fed up with this whole thing. And so as we move into 2023, we have not softened our resolve, but we're just going to continue moving forward. And if you can do anything to help us, if you care at all about that mission, we do need a little bit of money to just keep the website up. A lot of that has come from our own pockets, but that's fine. Aside from that, what we really need to do is, or you to do, is to get you to share this organically with your friends. Because over this past year, we have had a great percentage of growth, but we are still very small. If you grow in a great percentage from one viewer to 100 viewers, that's what, tenfold increase or 100-fold. I'm not good at math, right? But it's still not a lot. And so to save us from having to simply stoop down to the point of raising money for advertisements, we would just love for you to organically share this content if what it is giving you matters at all to you. If what our mission is for the freedom of the gospel to go out, then please do that, because that's going to help us immensely, not for the sake of prestige or for people to know us, but so that the gospel can get into their ears without a paywall, without anything else.
Amen. And I mean, this is exactly the plan. I mean, at the end of the day, as I was saying earlier, I'm working on my master in theology. And so we're not anti-credential, but we are absolutely anti-credentialism. We're absolutely against the sort of elitism, and we're absolutely against a broken system that rewards basically those who have the money to pay their way through, rather than those who are called by God to proclaim the gospel. And of course, because the way many seminaries are run prohibits duly called men from entering into the mission field. And then, of course, you get these ridiculous credentialing sort of programs in various synods and associations, where you have to have X and Y degrees and X and Y sort of credentials in order for us to recognize you as a pastor and as a rostered pastor. And so it's all these hoops, it's all this prestige, it's all this,
Yeah.
jump through that, do that. Which is why, I mean, if we really do the math of it, even in Canada, the average cost from the beginning of a bachelor's degree to the end of seminary, when you include books, when you include accommodations, when you include tuition, when you include all the things related to it, it's anywhere between $80,000 and $150,000. Okay, explain to me what world that makes sense, where in order to be equipped to proclaim the gospel, the free gospel of Christ, which proclaims freedom, why is it that in order to do that, we must become bondage to the sin of debt and usury?
It exists and makes sense in a world in which the actual credential has nothing to do with what you learn. And I say that because I know many credentialed people who do not know as much as they need to know to be in the pastoral office. And this is my qualm. And as Roland said, we're not anti-credential, we're anti-credentialism. I mean, let me speak a little bit for myself here. I am anti-credential because what it has come to mean is nothing. It has come to mean give us $80,000 minimum. It has meant produce me a salary so that I can, teach and not do and not fill those vacant pulpits, so that you can go there having done your due and giving me my money to continue this system and way of life. When in reality, the training of pastors is given to pastors. That is not only a gift that they have, that's their responsibility as part of their office in the New Testament. And that's to be done freely. So, like, when I look at this, what I'm looking at is we need to go back to caring about actual education, not about a piece of paper that says they have been educated. I want to know, what does that candidate know? What does that candidate confess? What can that candidate do? How do they perform in the pulpit? How do they perform behind the altar? Do they know what they're doing? Do they know how they're supposed to do it? Can they preach well? Because so many of them can't, and they have MDivs, they have STMs, they have PhDs or DMins, and they're really not even fit. And so for me, this always just comes down to, what is the actual essence of the thing we should be seeking? How can we provide it? So that's we'll say as much as we're going to say about that. Not to go too far on anything, but then, like, let's just a little bit about what podcasts are coming out in this coming year. Um, we are looking at one aspect to expand our team a little bit, to kind of regulate our stream of content, but we're going to be continuing in doing what we've been doing. Our goal is to take what we have now and make it more regular, make it more frequent, continuing with the weekly Verbum Day episodes. If we can get enough people getting to be able to do all of the special extra holidays in that, especially the 1 year cycle ones that go through the RCL, would be really good. As well as trying to keep up with the Blood and Bone episodes, which we've been really struggling to do, but we've been getting there a little bit more with guest episodes, and just continuing through Confessing Concord and ramping up what we've been doing on the Lutheran Library. So as I continue to work through Luther's popular works, I'm also going to be oscillating between Luther's works and the complete works of the ante-Nicene, Nicene and post-Nicene church fathers. Roland has agreed to be doing a series on Bonhoeffer's works and also on Spener's Pia Desideria. And we may be having also Stephen do for us the works of Gerhard Ferde. And so that would produce something that's nice, I suppose. But aside from that, yeah, if anyone is looking, watching this, listening to this, and they say, hey, I want to write, I want to speak, I have some free time in this week, I'm a pastor, I'm a seminarian, or whatever it is, and they say, yeah, I want to throw my hat in the ring here and contribute something, please do. You're very welcome to, and we are not at all closed. Media network. It's not like this is the, the Roland, the Connor, and the Stephen Club. Please do join us. We would love to see what you have to write for us, love to see what you have to speak for us on podcasts or anything. And this year, hopefully for us, is just going to be a year of continued growth in our reach so that we can just get that gospel to more people in a free way that's conducive to growing the education, the spiritual maturity, and theological intellect of the church here on this earth.
Yeah, and I really have nothing else to add to that, because that's really the goal. That remains our goal. We remain committed to doing this, to doing it for free, to never creating a paywall, to never creating a subscription model, to never creating any of these things. All of it will always be optional. And we are really looking for kindred spirits, kindred content producers that want to join us on this journey. As Connor said, this isn't some exclusive club. We're not super nitpicky about a bunch of things. We're looking for other people that want to take good Lutheran theology and finally make it accessible so that people can hear the good news that has been robbed of them for so long. Yeah.
And just as we close here, just wishing you all, of course, a blessed and a happy new year. And please do remember that New Year's resolutions are extremely cringe, and that they will always, just as Lenten resolutions do, just show you how much you need Christ and how void of life and goodness you are. So please, if you're dabbling in that, please go to church as often as possible. Even better, just don't bother doing it. Know that you're a sinner and receive the absolution for that. Anyways, God bless you. Happy spew year. And yeah, I'm very sorry that Christ has not come back, but maybe he will next week. We'll see. All right. God bless you.